How's it going, guys and girls? This is Ketchup and CheapEddie, actually, this time round.
Hello, guys.
So we're going to be going back to the UK very, very, very soon, and we figured before we go, we'd do another character breakdown, this time in the form of Johnny Cage. We know that CheapEddie can play all three variations of Cage. We're not going to go into fisticuffs because, to be honest, fisticuffs it's not very good. And for the purpose of tutorial, we're only going to go over the variations that people use a lot, which will be Stunt Double and A-List. I'm going to quickly change you to a Stunt Double, and we'll go into it. So basically, I'm just going to let CheapEddie kind of take this one. I'll give him some questions and stuff. But long story short, first of all, Stunt Double. As far as I'm aware, Stunt Double is very block pressurey, isn't it? And that involves the mimic.
Yes, and he really relies to be safe when he does his setups with clones. So there are characters which you can do this shit at all. For example, try to block is if I'm going, you can reversal it all the time. Yeah. Not all characters can do this. With some characters,
so the gap between your string or normal on block into the mimic, there is a gap there that can be armored, but not all characters can do anything about it.
For almost all strings, yes, there is a gap, so you don't have, like many people think, you don't have a safe, it's not safe at all, it's most like a gimmick, but you need to set up it in order to put crazy pressure on opponents. So
I think the reason it's called, so I think one thing to point out that CheapEddie said earlier on is that it's considered to be safe purely because if he opts to go for a string into the mimic into a straight kick immediately, then we will trade. So if you do something on block into mimic into straight kick and I try and punish you, so if you try and do that right now,
you can.
If I press a button,
yes.
Even if it's unsafe, if I let go of block earlier, you try again? Oh yeah, I've got to let you mimic. As you can see, sometimes I get hit, sometimes I can't. So it's basically like sometimes we'll just trade as well. So it's kind of like, it's unsafe technically. Some of them are unsafe, but because the straight kick will hit me and sometimes trade, that's kind of why it's considered safe. So where's the command for your mimic, by the way? How do you do it?
Down, back 4.
Okay, so down, back 4 gets the mimic. You can go for an uppercut and a straight kick, I believe?
Yes, you can go for a mimic uppercut or straight kick, a shadow kick.
Okay.
Shadow kick is a big plus in block. Shadow mimic uppercut is not that big plus, so it's more like a gimmick frame trap. It's only +3, so you will have like down 1 guaranteed after this. That's all I think. And the main reason is to put crazy pressure, as I said before. For example, if Tempest doesn't have a meter, just I don't know. Okay, let's see for a minute, like if Tempest doesn't have any meter at all.
Yeah, so let's say I have no bar for reversal.
Yeah, you have no bar, so I'm going for this.
And obviously the meter burn uppercut in Mimic guarantees.
Yeah, and after this forward T4, it will be guaranteed after.
Okay, do you want to demonstrate that again? So if you've got 2 mimics, this block string without meter is completely guaranteed. So I can't do anything. The meter burn uppercut guarantees a jump in, which guarantees all of this. Because obviously the mimics being plus, the meter burn uppercut mimic being plus enough to guarantee a jump in, the 3 hit kicks into the straight kick being plus enough to guarantee a forward 3-4.
It's not the shadow kick is guaranteed. You can just cancel it into shadow kick and then go into pressure. And the main the thing you need to do most when you're putting this setup is confirming it.
Okay, so I want to quickly let's look at that again. I'll go 2 bars normal. Let's see how much bar you actually build doing that sequence. So do you want to get your mimics out and we'll do that thing that you just did? We'll do it again and see how much meter it builds.
Okay, this not a problem, but you need to hold block, I think.
Yep.
Okay, so for example, you can pull any string you want, so I can get an alternative there.
So at the cost of a bar, you've pretty much gained almost an entire bar back.
Yeah,
so you've spent a bar, or basically that entire sequence, when you boil it down, cost you 1 portion of a bar. So it's good meter build.
Yeah, you can proceed your pressure with I forgot X force balls, but it's not safe.
Yeah, so the EX force balls, just to quickly remind, that's another thing that can grant pressure, but people block all the time. However, there is a way to get around this, so it looks guaranteed, but you basically block and then let go of block before the second ball connects. So although this is seen to be a way to extend Johnny Cage's pressure, you can actually punish him for it if you just let go after the second ball.
Yeah, for an easier punish, use reversal.
Yeah, so for example, if you do that again,
So
yeah, there's a gap there as well.
Yes, it's very easy.
So basically, long story short, Stunt Double is all about the block pressure. The meter burn uppercut into jump in doesn't work in the corner because there's not enough space there. Obviously, if you mimic into uppercut right now, if you could quickly do the mimic into meter burn uppercut and jump in, as you can see, the range of which I get pushed back is really nice for guaranteeing a jump in. But if we're in the corner and you try and do the same thing, it's not quite the same because we're going to be slightly closer together. So if he does the same thing as meter burn uppercut, I screwed up. We'll try that again.
Okay, you can choose to make.
Yeah. Let's make it go in the corner. Reset left. Oh, that's not right. Left. There we go. So if you do it now, because of just the angle at which we go, some characters can.
Sometimes it really depends from the character. All setups, for example, if people really want to beat you out from the setup, you can just use alternative way, hold block, and use this string because it gives you enough pushback, so you can proceed with your.
So it looks like we're just demonstrating the same setup, but to be honest, it's more to just kind of display something that Stunt Double can do. You're basically always going to be based around comboing into mimic, into straight kick, and if you see the straight kick get blocked, or this or whatever, you basically always play on the plus frames. So you do a lot of your combos and stuff into this mimic, into an instant straight kick if they have no meter, and if they block the straight kick, you can obviously follow up for more pressure. And that's pretty much Stunt Double, really, isn't it? It's all about the block pressure, but whereas in A-List, you will spend stamina on your block pressure. In Stunt Double, you spend meter on your pressure.
Yeah, basically, that's about it. But at cost of 1 meter, you are earning a 1 bar.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not the conventional meter usage, as it were. So that's going to be Stunt Double. We're going to quickly talk about A-List. And A-List is pretty much entirely about the run cancel. So please bear with CheapEddie's execution here. He's not really an Xbox guy. He plays on the PS4 pad. His execution's actually really good, but I don't want to put you on the spot.
I'm not sure about it, but
alright,
still,
so
I will try to.
A-List Johnny Cage, it's the back forward 4, the shadow kick. That's the main thing that you will be run cancelling, isn't it?
Yes.
You can charge.
No. You forgot about forward 4 natural cancel. So I need to say about cancel.
Okay, so what are the cancels you will be doing?
With cancel,
Okay.
because it's really important in Cage's neutral games.
Alright, so it looks like you're doing forward 3-4, but
Yeah,
you're
and-
charging the 4?
Yes, and because you can with cancel you can make your knee very safe even on beat, and it's pretty tough to punish in neutral games. So you just guys need to know this. And
So that's done by doing forward 3-4, but then you hold the 4 because in this variation you can charge it, of which you can then cancel out of it to make it safer. Because you do forward 3-4 and then you charge the 4 and then cancel out. To make it safe.
yes.
Okay, cool. So that's the first element of it. A-List being all about the run cancels, can you demonstrate some B&Bs that you can do?
Okay.
Like, don't need to be too technical, but just to kind of demonstrate run cancelling forward.
Yeah. My run cancel skills are beyond godlike. Can you reset? No, don't need to reset this.
Oh, I see.
Oh my
yeah.
god. I'm so horrible. I'm trying to
It's
do
all
this.
good. It's all good.
It's really difficult to pull this on. Basically, the all combo goes you are doing 2 run cancels into forward 3. Then you're going for a forward 4 and this one.
Oh, I see.
Into nut punch. And then there goes a main part, try to block.
Okay, yeah, I'll try block.
When you landed a nut punch, on almost every character except a women one, you can pull this off.
Oh, I see. Is that guaranteed?
And it's guaranteed.
That's
yes.
completely guaranteed. So if you do a nut punch, do you want to do a nut punch into that?
It's guaranteed almost 8% of damage. So
Do you want to just do like a basic B&B, end it in nut punch, and then go for some block pressure afterwards?
Okay.
So you go for a B&B here. This is the kind of easy stuff. So I hold block. That guarantees the run cancel. Guarantees that as well.
It's guaranteed too. So if you're going for this, or if you are good at execution, so you can pull this off. Try to hold block.
Yep.
This will be a true block string too.
Okay, so that's a true block string as well. So basically it's all about using your run cancels to get good B&Bs for meterless damage, and then when you land the nut punch, using your run cancels again to jail into more stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think jailing in, really, for Johnny Cage, that's kind of like just the beginning, isn't it? Once you understand what jails for free, the opponent might start trying to challenge it. And if they challenge it, that's when you can start throwing out other things.
Yeah, you can just change your patterns using a lot of throws, for example, and down 4. And you can... People are trying to go for this infamous, I would say, setups with 1-1 forward 2-4 or 1 into forward 2-4.
And obviously the reason they're doing that is because the 1-1-4, right? Can you demonstrate the string that people might be trying to scout first, like the punch into the low, and then you just cancel it into the
yes,
overhead?
you're doing this. Or but for making it safe, you can cancel it and proceed in the combo. So that's what the people afraid about Cage, and you don't need, because it's really easy to block.
Yeah, so I think that you see a lot of people get hit by the 1-1-4 because they get hit by the overhead because they're blocking. They block low, expecting the low, and that's when Johnny Cage throws out his overhead. Yeah,
exactly. And you need to use these patterns when you are using two block strings. For example, you are, as I showed you before, you can jail with this, but you can. Okay, I will show you.
I think that's one thing to note as well. If you're incorrect on your cancels, you're actually cancelling into an extremely unsafe move. So you need to be careful that your execution is on point.
You need to be on point with your execution. I agree. Oh, it's so painful to play Johnny Cage. Okay, can you reset again, please?
Yeah, sure.
I'm so sorry. I'm so bad. Okay. After this, you run cancel. Okay, at least I got something. And you can check people with overhead or going straight into.
Because obviously they're expecting the low.
Yes, they're expecting a low, or maybe trying to stop going into these patterns again, and you just need to check them all the time with down 4 and throws. And use as much patterns as you can provide. For example, trying to use
but that's good as well, because obviously you can just run cancel that, and if I get hit, you can just go for a combo right there. You know,
using this block string and etc. But the main thing, you can end your block string into a very safe 1, 2, 1, 4. Yes, this.
And that's 0, isn't it?
It's 0 on block, so you can proceed with your pressure.
So every single run cancel you do can turn into that right at the end to become 0 on block. And obviously, if you're 0 on block, can you do that and then do a meter burn nut punch if I try and press a button? So do that on block and then do meter burn nut punch. Clearly, you can then use it as a counter poke.
Yes, of course. Or just bait a poke to use your down 4, for example, or try for a grab, because in many ways it beats pokes. So.
Okay, cool, brilliant. So I think that kind of covers the basics of Johnny Cage. I mean, you can do some really flashy, crazy technical stuff, and obviously CheapEddie uses that a lot in tournament, especially when he's in ESL Season 1. These sort of B&Bs right here, and they all jail into block pressure, like all this kind of stuff. And that obviously is 0 on block, which then sets up for more buttons or a throw or a meter burn nut punch or whatever. But I think we just wanted to kind of demonstrate the method of Johnny Cage. So before we kind of cut this off, is there anything you want to say about Johnny Cage that people might need to know?
Yeah, of course. You need to change your block pressure when you're playing against female characters. Can you show me, please? Try to pick AKC.
Okay, cool. So before we tie this up, we'll quickly demonstrate some small hitbox character stuff, and then we'll call it a day. So I'm going to go Cassie Cage. Where is she? She's up there. Oops, that's okay. Alright,
yeah.
And then we'll go A-List back into the training stage, and then we'll quickly demonstrate the issue with small hitbox characters for a little bit, and then we will go straight, and that'll be it. So, Cassie Cage versus Johnny Cage. Do you think I have to set you as human again?
Okay, so the basically main issue with her is, and all women characters, that it whips the string, whips on. Sometimes it whips at all, sometimes it whips on only on first part of the string. So you need to change your patterns in pressure. For example,
so that whiffed as well, yeah.
You need to use forward T to continue the pressure, and still you can still jail her as well, but you need a different setups. And against Cassie Cage, you can use down 4 all the time, and be not afraid of her X card will.
Can you low profile the back one as well with Cassie?
Not on this range.
Oh, okay.
But at this range I can.
From max range.
Yes, kind of. I can use it in neutral when you're trying to approach me with back one. So
it just does a good job of basically just making it miss.
Yes, but the back 1-2, as you know, Casey's back 1-2 is safe on block. So, and
okay, cool. So basically, long story short, I think small hitbox characters, more things whiff on them than when Cage fights larger characters. So you just kind of use a lot more forward threes because it's a chunky mid, isn't it?
Can you sit please for a
minute? Yeah, sure.
Okay, it does connect, so you can use, for example, this all the time, or use this setup. But now it riffs. I don't know.
Yeah. So it's the inconsistent whiffing.
It depends from stance. I don't really know. So okay, I need to change my side.
And then it doesn't. I think that's kind of case in point where small hitbox characters there is a level of inconsistency with hitting them on block.
But you just need to change patterns, and it will. It doesn't change a lot of things.
Okay, cool. So that's going to be Johnny Cage. Thank you very much for doing this with me, CheapEddie. I know we've been meaning to do it for quite a while, but we haven't really had the chance to, so now is a good time before we all split up for the end of Season 2. So thank you very much for doing this. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Are there any shout-outs you want to give before we finish up, or are you all good?
Are
there any shout-outs you'd like to give?
Oh.
Any thanks?
I don't know. Play Johnny Cage, be good.
Play Johnny Cage and be good. Famous last words right there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Don't forget to like, comment and sub. We're going to bring you guys some more content when we return to the UK, and we'll be able to stream because our connection will be better. Thank you very much. I'll catch you next time. See you later.